Before we got married, we both decided that we are not going to have kids because of our lifestyle choice, but I don't see myself as a mother. The next one is a one-sentence question, and the question is, what is your opinion of the Carlos Yulo family saga? Hello everyone, my name is Kay Hartman, and with me is my husband Steve.
Hi, glad you could make it today to join us.
Yes, welcome to our very first episode here at Clear Echoes. This channel is dedicated to offer free advice to those who are facing life's challenges and find solutions to situations that may feel overwhelming or hard to navigate. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist and a life coach. People come to me when they're facing difficult situations and they need help solving their tough problems, or when they feel stuck and unsure on how to move forward. And with their consent, we're sharing their stories here in our channel to help others who may be facing the same situation. And my partner here brings 59 years of invaluable hands-on life experience to the table. So together we offer thoughtful and practical solutions to your problem. And today we are going to talk about conceiving or becoming a parent.
Oh, okay.
Our very first email comes from Jennifer. Okay. She said, "My husband and I married young, and we have been happily married for 15 years. Congratulations, Jennifer. Before we got married, we both decided that we are not going to have kids because of our lifestyle choice, but this changed over the years. My husband has expressed in more than one occasions that he now wants to have children. I know I can still conceive, but I don't see myself as a mother. Having children is a great responsibility, and I don't believe I am up to the task. I love my husband, and we have a great relationship thus far. I just don't know how to move forward with this one major issue. Should I give in?"
So, you've been married for 15 years.
They married young.
Yeah.
She didn't say what age, but she said that she can
Yeah.
still conceive after 15 years, so they married
yeah.
pretty young.
Yeah, so she's probably in her 30s, I would think.
Well, first of all, Jennifer, I wanted to commend you for knowing yourself. And I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for us to stay as our authentic self as we could possibly be. And you don't want to just give in to your husband's wishes because he is your husband. I believe at this point it is important for you to ask questions. Ask the what questions. I don't know how much of this you have talked about, but I believe it's important that you discover what has changed with your husband. What shifted or what influenced him to change his mind from not wanting children to now wanting to become a dad? And also to ask the what question to yourself. What made you think that you are not going to become a good mother?
Right. My advice at your age, and since you're both not in agreement yet, is to try to experience being a parent on a smaller level. For example, babysitting. I don't know if you've tried babysitting. That'll let both of you know how you are around children, because you don't want it sprung on you how to deal with children or have to watch videos or read books right away to figure out the step by step. If you're babysitting, it'll make you comfortable with children or uncomfortable with children, and that can work with either of you. So I think it's very important to find relatives or friends that you can babysit for, and doesn't matter the age of the child, because you're going to have to deal with it the age range as the child is growing if it's yours. So I would encourage babysitting or being around children. You could even volunteer at a daycare center. The other thing I would suggest, if that works out, we're like, yeah, I think we want children, but we're still not sure. You might look into becoming a foster parent. And that is actually a good experience for you, and it's a wonderful experience for the child that you would be fostering. And it's usually not long term. It could just be a couple of days or even overnight or several weeks. And you can arrange that with whatever program is local to you. But that would help you deal with what it's like having a child in your household. And that may encourage you or make you have second thoughts, either one of you. So I would encourage you to do that.
That's actually a great idea. Get them to practice what it really feels like to have children. So yeah, maybe babysit, like take baby steps, babysit, see what it feels like to have children around.
Right.
And then maybe try to foster someone, because that's a little bit more involved.
Right.
Because the child will be staying with them 24/7. Because when they babysit, it's only going to be like a couple of hours. So babysit first, then try to foster a child and see how that changes the dynamics of you being a couple.
Right.
Her question ultimately is that if she should give in. So I guess the answer here is important to be authentic to yourself and not be swayed by your partner's decision, because later on you might have resentment. They need to have that difficult conversation and try to see where they can meet halfway, because there's no universally right or wrong answer to this situation, but the key is to have an open communication between them and to find a path forward that both of them can agree upon and be comfortable with. But if the result of the conversation is not to the most ideal outcome, she should also be ready for and prepare herself for what the outcome is. But if I can give you a pointer, if you want to start a conversation with someone, you first have to express what your expectations are before the start of the conversation. So for this matter, you expect to be amicable, you expect to respect each other and end up the conversation as an equal. And that's how your conversation would proceed.
That would be the difference between an argument and using that method, because an argument, obviously, you're both on opposite sides and won't give in to the other person.
Well, that's what we don't want to happen, is to make an argument.
To come in together
yes.
to come up with a solution. And that's generally going to make you both happy and make you feel like you both have contributed, whatever the outcome of that decision.
Yes, yeah, because ultimately, whatever the outcome of the decision is, we wanted the marriage to last. They've been married for 15 years, so that is not something that we can ignore or not take into consideration as far as giving them advice how to navigate the situation where they're on the opposite side of.
Yeah, and he may have other thoughts on why he wants a child at this stage in his life, and you need to explore that with him.
So to wrap up, our advice is, number one, ask the what questions. Ask your husband, find out what made him change his decision as far as having children is concerned. Also ask yourself the what question. What made you think that you will not be a good mother? And if you have made that decision, ultimately, that you really don't want to proceed as being a mother in the relationship, then you and your husband will have to sit down and talk about the difficult, conversation of how to move forward in the relationship with your decisions being the opposites. And it's important that before you start with a conversation, that you express to your husband what your ideal outcome is, so that it doesn't go into a full-blown argument.
Right.
And at the end of that difficult conversation, that you are still a unit, or at the very least friends, and you still understand each other where each other is coming from, even if the result of the conversation is less ideal to both parties.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Best of luck to you, Jennifer. Yes, best of luck to you, and I hope you can, with our advice today, that you can navigate this situation better with your husband. The next one is a one-sentence question, and the question is, what is your opinion of the Carlos Yulo family saga? Yeah, so for those of you who doesn't know who Carlos Yulo is the most famous athlete in the Philippines at this point. He just won 2 gold medals for the Philippines in gymnastics at the recently concluded Paris Olympics. And he is so popular in the Philippines right now. He was given a hero's welcome when he came home from the Olympics. However, it is tarnished by a controversy because he and his family are not getting along. Apparently, they have not talked to each other for 3 years. They have not talked to each other before the Olympics, actually. And in my knowing, I might be wrong, but I'm just basing this on what I've seen so far in the news, that the family is not in favor of Carlos's girlfriend. And Carlos's reason for not talking to his family is because of money. Apparently, the mother or his parents used some of his money from his previous winnings before the Olympics, his previous winnings to expenses, family expenses.
Right.
They used it without his consent or without him knowing.
Right.
And the country is now very much divided as to, is it just right that the parents did that, or if Carlos has the responsibility to help his family because he is the breadwinner. When I got this email, I actually had to look at Carlos Yulo's background and who he is, because I thought that he was a 16-year-old boy. He looks like he's 16.
Yeah.
He looks like he's younger, actually, but he's 24. So he is an adult. He can make up his own mind. He can make his own decisions. And a lot of people also commend his girlfriend, because they said that the reason why Carlos won the gold is because he's inspired by his girlfriend. But the family, the parents, are not in favor of her.
Right, because he's a wedge between them and him.
She's a wedge.
Yeah, wedge.
Yeah, no, she's a wedge.
Yeah.
She's a wedge between the family. Well, I don't know. I'm sure the parents see it that way.
Yeah.
They can be seeing, they can see it that way, that she's a wedge. However, she is not the reason why Carlos is not talking to them.
Oh.
Carlos is not talking to them because of the reason his parents used his money for family expenses without telling him.
Oh.
Without letting him know.
Yeah.
Carlos is just so popular in the Philippines right now, to the point that politicians and private companies are riding the wave of his popularity, and he's received a whole bunch of incentives, both from the government and private companies. He's given 10 million pesos, which is equivalent to, what's that, $500,000 by the Philippine government. And then some politicians are also giving him cash incentives, and he was given a 3-bedroom condominium in Makati, which is our equivalent of Manhattan. And some odd incentives like free buffet for life and free roast chicken, free ramen, so that their companies can be, I guess they hashtag Carlos Yulo, and that comes up when somebody looks for his name. So that's how popular he is right now. But a lot of people, the country is very divided in their opinion of whether or not he's correct by severing his ties with his family because the parents used his money. The parents used his money without his knowledge.
Okay.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I actually see both sides' point. They feel like, especially with their culture, that, hey, we brought you up, we sacrificed for you to get to this. We're part of your win. And he's thinking, well, I'm the one that did all the hard work. I'm the one that competed under the stress, and the agony, the injuries, physical injuries, mental stress. So, yeah, that's a really fine line. But culturally, I kind of think he's responsible, but not where he's just a money tree for him. I mean, it would be he seems like a decent guy that I could see him saying, hey, I'm going to buy a house for my parents.
Yeah.
But for them to, dip into his savings or his winnings without his knowledge, that seems kind of, I don't know, deceitful or something to me.
Yeah. A lot of the older people in the Philippines are, of course, siding with his mom.
Yeah.
That they have, just like what you said, that they are the ones who also made sacrifices for him to become an athlete. But I believe that the point of contention here is that they used his money without his knowledge.
Yeah.
And this is also something that is kind of like common to the Filipino culture, that sometimes parents have a sense of entitlement
Yes.
to their children's earnings. Right. And I don't think that is right.
Yeah.
No matter what the culture is.
Right. Well, even in American culture, a lot of the child stars from television and movies were essentially, for lack of a better word, screwed over by their parents, and their savings are gone. And you're only cute for so long, and then you're unemployable in Hollywood. So they've actually made laws to protect child actors and actresses now. But that was only within, I think, the last 20 years that that's come about. But yeah, it's not just a Filipino problem. It's probably worldwide.
Right. But do you think ultimately that children have the responsibility to support their family if and when they become breadwinners?
I don't know what the legal aspects of that are, but I don't think after a certain point that they should be responsible for them to the day they die. Although, morally, or however you want to put it, they should try to help. But let's say that his finances ran out completely. I don't think they're going to back him up.
I think ultimately this is a matter of respect.
Yeah.
Parents should know that just because their children are younger, it doesn't mean that they don't have to ask their permission if the parents are using or dipping into the child's savings or winnings. We need to learn how to respect our children,
right,
to respect what they've earned by themselves. And I understand that the parents also made sacrifices, but that is your responsibility as a parent.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, really, it is your responsibility as a parent to prop them so that they become successful in life. Carlos is an adult. He can make decisions for himself. Moving forward, I believe everybody in the Philippines has to respect what he wished to do with his life.
Yeah.
With the Filipinos airing or talking about their dirty laundry in public, some of the athletes may not want to have that same attention.
Right.
That may, they may think twice of whether or not they wanted to be good at their
right, because their focus is on being the best athletic competitor possible, not being the next star of the month.
Yes, if they're going to be plunged into, if they're going to be plunged into a, everybody has an opinion about me fest.
Yeah,
they're not going to.
Yeah, because that brings a whole load of different mental and.
Yes, absolutely. This is I'm sure it's a mental torture for Carlos, that everywhere he goes, it's either he's being praised or he's being bashed. Yeah. Not good.
You're the good guy, you're the bad guy at the same time.
Yes, quite absolutely.
A roller coaster.
So, well, hopefully, this dies down. Let the Yulo family sort their problems out by themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
Okie dokie, and I guess that is our episode for today. Thank you so much for being here with us. And
if you'd like to be featured in any of our upcoming episodes, please feel free to message us through our social media links, which you can find below. We promise to keep your identity protected, and we hope to hear from you soon.
And until next time, keep shining, stay empowered, and be optimistic.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How'd that go?
I don't know. On the next episode of Clear Echoes, my wife has a lifelong friend who got married to a wealthy businessman. I can tell my wife is getting jealous. She keeps asking me why I haven't given her any luxurious gifts. So for the last 15 years, it's either my husband goes alone or he would bring one of our children with him. They think I'm a stuck-up and that I don't want to be around them.